What if the key to mastering your relationships lies not in what you reveal, but in what you choose to conceal? In Stoicism, we are taught that the only true control we have is over our own thoughts, actions, and decisions. Everything else, including the people around us, is beyond our influence. This philosophy urges us to focus on self-mastery, overcoming destructive emotions like anger, envy, and desire that can cloud our judgment. When it comes to relationships, especially between men and women, Stoicism teaches the importance of discretion. It's not about deceit, but about protecting your inner peace and maintaining your strength of character. In this video, we'll explore 10 things a man should always keep hidden from a woman, according to Stoic wisdom, to safeguard his tranquility and uphold his values. If this perspective intrigues you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Quotes 365 for more insights on living a Stoic life. Your engagement helps us continue sharing these timeless teachings. Number 1. His weakness. A man's true strength is revealed through his ability to confront and rise above his weaknesses. This strength is not found in the comfort of others' acknowledgement, but in the quiet, personal battle against his own vulnerabilities. Imagine a man weathering a storm. He does not seek shelter in the approval or sympathy of others. Instead, he stands firm, allowing the storm to shape him into something stronger. This is the essence of Stoicism, understanding that while external forces are beyond our control, our responses are always within our grasp. Just as a blacksmith forges iron through fire, a Stoic man forges his character through adversity. A Stoic man embraces this reality by approaching his weaknesses with a calm and rational mind. Consider the example of a sailor navigating rough seas. The waves may be fierce, but the sailor remains focused on steering his ship. Similarly, the Stoic man acknowledges his emotions, but does not allow them to overwhelm him. He understands that pain and hardship are inevitable, but his response to them is a matter of personal choice. He chooses to rise above, not by suppressing his emotions, but by channeling them into growth. This mindset transforms every challenge into a lesson in resilience. Much like a sculptor who uses every strike of the chisel to reveal the masterpiece hidden within the marble. In this journey of self-mastery, the Stoic man refrains from seeking pity or sympathy, even from those closest to him, such as his partner or spouse. This is not an act of pride, but one of self-reliance. Picture a tree standing tall against the wind. It draws its strength from deep roots rather than bending to the force of the storm. Similarly, the Stoic man cultivates an inner wellspring of strength that does not rely on external validation. He understands that true fortitude comes from within, much like a mountain climber who relies on his own skills to ascend, knowing that the only way to reach the summit is through his own effort. This internal fortitude is not about denying vulnerability, but about transforming it into power. The Stoic man sees his weaknesses not as flaws to be hidden, but as opportunities for self-improvement. For example, if he recognizes a tendency toward impatience, he does not bemoan it, but instead actively works to cultivate patience. Just as a gardener tends to the weeds to allow his plants to flourish, the Stoic man nurtures his virtues by addressing his weaknesses head-on. He understands that every trial, every moment of discomfort, is a chance to grow stronger, to refine his character further. Stoicism also offers a different perspective on the conventional wisdom that sharing one's vulnerabilities is a sign of strength. While society may encourage open expression, the Stoic man knows that there is a profound power in enduring suffering in silence. This silence is not about Stoic posturing, but about cultivating resilience. It's like a river that flows quietly, yet carves through mountains over time. By choosing when and how to express his struggles, the Stoic man preserves his energy for what truly matters. Much like a seasoned chess player who carefully considers each move, understanding that the game is won not by reacting impulsively, but by thinking several steps ahead. The Stoic worldview teaches that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Just as a jeweler refines a gem by cutting away the rough edges, the Stoic man refines himself through adversity. He does not see his weaknesses as hindrances, but as raw material for transformation. For example, if he faces a setback, He does not wallow in despair but uses it as a stepping stone to greater wisdom. He views life as a continuous journey of self-discovery and mastery, where every obstacle is a chance to practice virtue and strengthen his resolve. Through this lens, the Stoic man finds purpose not in avoiding difficulties, but in embracing them as essential parts of his journey. Picture a blacksmith who sees each hammer strike not as a destructive force, but as a means of shaping the iron into something stronger and more refined. In the same way, the Stoic man sees every hardship as a tool for crafting a life of virtue and meaning. In a world often marked by chaos and unpredictability, he stands as a testament to the enduring power of a disciplined mind and an indomitable spirit, much like a lighthouse guiding ships through stormy seas, steadfast and unwavering. This approach allows the Stoic man to navigate life's challenges with poise and inner strength, transforming every trial into a triumph of character. His journey is not just about enduring hardship, but about using it as a means of personal growth. Much like a marathon runner, who views each mile not as a burden, but as a step toward the finish line. Through this mindset, the Stoic man cultivates a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment, grounded in the unshakable belief that the greatest battles are fought and won within oneself. Number 2. His mistakes. Mistakes are not simply missteps or errors. They are integral to the journey toward wisdom and self-improvement. The Stoic man approaches his mistakes with humility, diligence, and a deep sense of introspection. Consider the metaphor of a craftsman refining his work. Each mistake is a mark that, when properly addressed, enhances the final product. The Stoic man recognizes that mistakes are personal lessons, not failures to be displayed indiscriminately, particularly in relationships where misunderstandings might arise. This perspective isn't about hiding one's imperfections out of fear or shame, but about understanding that not all mistakes need to be shared to serve their purpose. In a relationship, a Stoic man exercises discretion. He understands that airing his mistakes unnecessarily might not always contribute constructively to the dynamics between him and his partner. For example, a man who frequently shares his errors might inadvertently project an image of carelessness, rather than one of thoughtful self-correction. Instead, he views his mistakes as opportunities for internal growth, much like a gardener carefully pruning a plant to encourage healthy growth. Focuses on nurturing what is within, rather than seeking validation from external sources. Humility and diligence are central virtues in how a Stoic man responds to his mistakes. He does not approach his tasks or decisions lightly, knowing that careful thought and consideration reduce the likelihood of error. Yet, when mistakes do occur, he does not shy away from them. Instead, he embraces them as moments of learning. Think of a chess player reflecting on a lost game, not with frustration, but with a keen eye on how to improve future strategy. This introspective process transforms mistakes into valuable life lessons, refining his ability to navigate similar situations with greater wisdom in the future. The Stoic man practices discipline and perseverance in correcting his mistakes. Improvement, he understands, is not a one-time event, but a continuous process that demands consistent effort. For example, if a Stoic man realizes he has acted impulsively, he commits to developing greater patience over time, treating each interaction as a chance to practice restraint. His mistakes do not define him. Rather, they become catalysts for positive change and self-enhancement, much like a river smoothing the rough edges of a stone as it flows over time. Taking responsibility for one's mistakes is another cornerstone of Stoic practice. A Stoic man does not engage in the blame game, whether by blaming others or indulging in self-pity. He takes ownership of his actions and their consequences, focusing on how he can rectify the situation and prevent similar errors in the future. Imagine a captain steering his ship through rough waters, not blaming the sea for its turbulence, but adjusting his course to navigate it more effectively. This mindset, rooted in self-responsibility, empowers him to turn mistakes into opportunities for growth. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not the things that happen to us that trouble us, but our opinions about them." This profound insight underscores the Stoic belief that our interpretation of events, including our mistakes, shapes their impact on us. A Stoic man, therefore, does not view his mistakes as sources of distress, but as opportunities to refine his understanding and action. In conclusion, the Stoic approach to mistakes is a blend of humility, learning, and personal responsibility. A Stoic man does not seek to conceal his errors out of fear, but strives to cultivate resilience and wisdom from them. By viewing mistakes as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, he adheres to the Stoic virtues of self-improvement and inner strength, navigating life with a deeper understanding and unwavering commitment, growth. Number 3. His dreams. The Stoic perspective on dreams and aspirations is grounded in realism, pragmatism, and a profound sense of self-sufficiency. For a Stoic man, dreams are not fanciful illusions or distant fantasies. Instead, they are meaningful pursuits that align with his values and capabilities, much like a craftsman carefully selecting the right tools to create a masterpiece. He approaches his aspirations with a blend of groundedness and focus, steering clear of vanity and the desire for external validation. When it comes to sharing his dreams, particularly with a romantic partner, a Stoic man exercises restraint. This is not out of secrecy or fear, but out of a deep understanding that seeking external approval can often lead to disappointment. Imagine a mountain climber who chooses his path carefully, knowing that the journey is his alone to navigate. Similarly, the Stoic man avoids the trap of sharing his dreams for the sake of recognition or praise. Instead, he focuses on what he can control: his actions, his decisions, and his commitment to his goals. In Stoic philosophy, the pursuit of dreams is not driven by a desire for admiration or acceptance. The Stoic man is guided by an inner compass, much like a sailor navigating by the stars. His fulfillment comes from personal growth and the achievement of goals that resonate deeply with his true self. For example, instead of chasing accolades, he might focus on developing a skill that brings him joy and a sense of accomplishment, understanding that true happiness is found in the process, not in external rewards. This approach to dreams is closely tied to the Stoic principle of focusing on realistic and achievable goals. A Stoic man directs his energy toward objectives that are within his control and that positively impact his life and the lives of those around him. Picture a gardener tending to his garden. He waters the plants he knows will grow in the soil he has, rather than wasting effort on seeds that cannot thrive. The Stoic man channels his passion into endeavors that are both practical and meaningful, avoiding the pitfalls of unrealistic expectations. Moreover, the Stoic man's relationship with his dreams is characterized by self-reliance and autonomy. He trusts his own judgment and inner voice, drawing upon his inner resources to realize his ambitions. This self-reliance does not mean he rejects support from others. Rather, it reflects his confidence in his ability to direct his life's course. Think of a musician composing a symphony. While he may appreciate the input of others, the melody ultimately comes from within him. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This wisdom captures the essence of Stoicism. True happiness and fulfillment arise from within, shaped by the quality of one's thoughts and perspective. For a Stoic man, dreams are not idle fantasies, but reflections of a thoughtful and purpose-driven mind. His aspirations are guided by a desire for genuine fulfillment, not fleeting recognition. In essence, the Stoic man's approach to his dreams is a harmonious blend of realism, self-reliance, and a focus on personal values and capabilities. He views his aspirations through the lens of practicality, ensuring that his goals are aligned with his principles. Just as an architect designs a building that stands the test of time, the Stoic man builds his life on a foundation of thoughtful, purposeful, and self-sufficient ideals. His dreams are not merely wishes. They are carefully considered plans that guide him toward a life of meaning and fulfillment. Number 4. His feelings. In the rich philosophical landscape of Stoicism, the Stoic man's relationship with his feelings is a profound exploration of self-awareness, mindfulness, and deliberate management of his internal world. Contrary to the misconception that Stoicism requires emotional suppression, the Stoic man does not seek to stifle his emotions. Instead, he approaches them with a deep sense of awareness and reflection, much like a scholar studying the pages of a complex book. Emotions, in Stoicism, are not adversaries to be conquered, but signals that offer valuable insights into one's state of mind. A key principle in Stoicism is understanding rather than suppressing emotions. The Stoic man recognizes that emotions are a natural part of the human experience, and by acknowledging them, he gains a deeper understanding of himself. Imagine a seasoned sailor who reads the winds and tides, using this knowledge to navigate the seas more effectively. Similarly, the Stoic man listens to his emotions, using them to guide his journey through life, rather than allowing them to steer him off course. However, the Stoic man is vigilant about how his emotions influence his judgments and actions. Stoicism teaches that while emotions can inform, they should not dictate. A wise individual integrates emotional intelligence into rational decision-making, ensuring that his responses to external events are thoughtful and measured. Picture a judge weighing evidence carefully before making a decision. This is how the Stoic man balances his emotions with reason. He understands that letting emotions hijack his judgment would be akin to letting a storm cloud his vision, preventing him from seeing clearly. While the Stoic man is attuned to his feelings, he exercises discretion in expressing them. This choice is not about pretending to be emotionally indifferent, but about ensuring that his emotions are communicated in a way that is appropriate and beneficial. For example, if he feels anger rising, he might choose to express it in a calm and constructive manner rather than allowing it to erupt uncontrollably. This restraint reflects a commitment to maintaining harmony in his relationships, much like a conductor who ensures that every instrument in the orchestra plays in sync, creating a balanced and harmonious performance. The Stoic man's decision to withhold certain emotions, even from those closest to him, is rooted in his desire to project rationality and calm. He understands that not all emotions need to be shared, and that indiscriminate displays might disrupt the equilibrium of his relationships. Imagine a leader who remains composed during a crisis. His calm demeanor reassures those around him. Similarly, the Stoic man's composed expression of emotions conveys stability and strength. In Stoicism, the goal is not emotional detachment but the mastery of emotion. The Stoic man refines his feelings, transforming them into tools for self-awareness and wisdom. For instance, when faced with disappointment, instead of dwelling on it, he reflects on the lessons it offers, much like an artist who turns a mistake into a new creative direction. This approach allows him to navigate life with a sense of balance, resilience, and thoughtful engagement. In conclusion, the Stoic man's handling of feelings is a delicate balance between self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and careful expression. His approach to emotions is a testament to the harmonious integration of reason and feeling, a dynamic equilibrium that fosters a life of balance and mindfulness. Like a skilled craftsman, he shapes his emotional landscape with intention, creating a life that is not only rational, but also deeply attuned to the complexities of human experience. Number 5. His secrets in Stoic philosophy. The handling of personal secrets is closely tied to the principles of discretion, honor, and respect for both oneself and others. The Stoic man understands that secrets are not simply hidden truths, but reflections of his inner life and personal experiences. They are protected not out of fear or shame, but because they represent the sanctity of his inner world, much like a sacred garden that only he tends to. In his interactions, particularly with a woman, the Stoic man approaches the sharing of secrets with careful thought, ensuring that his privacy and dignity remain intact. The Stoic approach to secrets is not about secrecy for its own sake, but about understanding the profound value of privacy. For example, consider a craftsman who carefully guards his tools, not because they are broken or faulty, but because they are essential to his work. Similarly, a Stoic man guards his secrets because they are essential to his sense of self. He recognizes that not all aspects of his life need to be exposed, even to those closest to him. This discretion is not a barrier, but a boundary that protects his inner sanctum. Discretion, a key virtue in Stoicism, guides the Stoic man in all his interactions. He refrains from gossip and slander, knowing that such behavior not only betrays the trust of others, but also diminishes his own character. Imagine a sentinel standing guard at a gate. He allows in only what is necessary and keeps out what may cause harm. In the same way, the Stoic man chooses his words and actions carefully, understanding that respecting the privacy of himself and others is a sign of true honor. Honor and trustworthiness are central to the Stoic's character. A Stoic man is committed to keeping his word and maintaining his integrity. He understands that betraying secrets, whether his own or those of others, would compromise his moral principles and erode the trust others place in him. Picture a knight who upholds his code of honor. His loyalty is unwavering, and his word is his bond. Similarly, the Stoic man's commitment to honor extends to how he handles his secrets, ensuring that they are kept with the same integrity he applies to all aspects of his life. This commitment to secrecy is not about deception, but about protection. The Stoic man does not reveal or exploit secrets, whether his own or others. Instead, he safeguards them, understanding that doing so is a way of respecting the dignity and privacy of individuals. Think of a vault that securely holds valuable items, not to hide them from the world, but to preserve their worth. In the same way, the Stoic man protects secrets, viewing this protection as a form of honoring the inner lives of those involved. Self-trust is another fundamental aspect of the Stoic's handling of secrets. A Stoic man trusts himself with his own secrets, relying on his judgment to determine what should be shared and what should remain private. This self-trust is not a sign of isolation, but a reflection of his confidence in his ability to manage his inner world. Consider a captain who trusts his knowledge of the sea. He knows when to sail forward and when to hold back, guided by his understanding of the waters. In the same way, the Stoic man navigates his secrets with confidence, knowing that he is the best judge of what should be revealed. Cicero, the Stoic orator, once said, "The most sacred thing in the world is the human soul." This sentiment captures the Stoic belief in the sacredness of the inner self, which includes one's thoughts, feelings, experiences, and secrets. For the Stoic man, protecting his secrets and respecting the secrets of others is a way of honoring this sacredness. It is a reflection of his deep respect for the human soul and its complexity. In summary, the Stoic man's approach to his secrets is a delicate balance of discretion, honor, and respect. He values the privacy and dignity of his inner world, understanding that not all aspects of his life need to be shared. His commitment to discretion, trustworthiness, and the protection of personal boundaries demonstrates his respect for the sanctity of the human soul. Through this approach, the Stoic man embodies the principles of Stoicism, living a life characterized by integrity, respect for privacy, and the cultivation of a virtuous and dignified inner self. Number 6. His pains. In the vast tapestry of Stoic philosophy, a Stoic man's approach to pain stands as a testament to his resilience and unwavering commitment to inner tranquility. Pain, in the Stoic worldview, is not something to be denied or suppressed, but rather an inevitable part of the human experience that must be met with dignity and strength. When a Stoic man faces pain, especially within the context of a relationship, he does so with a sense of calm and composure, understanding that life's challenges are part of the journey. The Stoic understanding of pain encourages a man to rise above suffering, to embrace it without letting it define him. Rather than openly displaying his pains, which might be perceived as a sign of misery or weakness, the Stoic man chooses a different path. He acknowledges the hardships, but does not allow them to dominate his spirit. Picture a tree standing tall in a storm. Branches may bend, but its roots hold firm. This is how a Stoic man faces pain, with an inner strength that does not waver, even in the harshest of circumstances. Endurance is central to the Stoic man's response to pain. He approaches his difficulties with patience and fortitude, recognizing that enduring hardships with grace is a true manifestation of strength. For example, if faced with a physical ailment, rather than complaining or seeking immediate relief, the Stoic man focuses on what he can control: his attitude, his actions, and his ability to endure. This approach turns pain into a test of character, much like a marathon runner who pushes through the final miles, knowing that the struggle only makes the finish more rewarding. The Stoic man does not seek to showcase his vulnerability or invite sympathy. Instead, he sees pain as a personal challenge, a chance for internal growth. He refrains from moaning or groaning, not out of a desire to appear stoic for others, but because he understands that enduring pain with grace is transformative. This mindset allows him to find strength in suffering, much like a blacksmith uses fire to temper steel, turning something raw and unfinished into a tool of strength and purpose. In Stoicism, pain is not viewed as something to be immediately alleviated or avoided. The Stoic man reframes pain as an opportunity for growth, choosing to face it head-on rather than seeking comfort at the first sign of discomfort. By doing so, he transforms the experience into something meaningful, a stepping stone on his path to becoming stronger and wiser. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. Each strike of the chisel may cause a piece to fall away, but with each strike, form becomes clearer, more refined. This is how the Stoic man views his pain. Each hardship shapes him into a better version of himself. Seneca, the prominent Stoic philosopher, captured this ethos with the statement, "Fire tests gold, and misfortune tests brave men." This powerful analogy underscores the Stoic belief that challenges, like the refining fire, are what reveal true character. The Stoic man does not shy away from this test. He embraces it with courage, understanding that pain, rather than being something to fear, is a crucible for personal growth. In essence, the Stoic man's approach to pain is a harmonious blend of endurance, joy, and transformation. By embracing challenges with resilience and reframing pain as an opportunity for growth, he embodies the Stoic ideals of inner strength and tranquility. His ability to maintain a cheerful disposition in the face of adversity is not an act of denial, but a reflection of his deep commitment to personal development. Through this approach, the Stoic man transcends suffering, navigating the challenges of life with grace and a steadfast resolve to become stronger with each trial. Number 7. Is pleasures. In the philosophical landscape of Stoicism, the approach to pleasure is guided by temperance and moderation, reflecting the core principles of virtue and self-mastery. For the Stoic man, pleasure is not something to be avoided, but it is something to be approached with caution and thoughtful restraint. He understands that while pleasure itself is not inherently negative, an unchecked pursuit of it can lead to indulgence and distraction from higher, more meaningful pursuits. The Stoic man recognizes that allowing pleasure to dominate his life would be a departure from the principles of self-discipline and rationality. Picture a sailor who enjoys the beauty of the sea but remains vigilant of its dangers. He appreciates the moment but never loses sight of his course. In the same way, the Stoic man enjoys pleasures but does so with an awareness of their transient nature and the potential they hold to divert him from his path. This approach is not about deprivation or asceticism, finding balance and thoughtful engagement with life's pleasures. In his pursuit of pleasure, the Stoic man avoids excess and indulgence. He practices moderation, ensuring that his pleasures do not become his master. For example, instead of indulging in every luxury, he might choose to enjoy a simple, well-prepared meal, finding satisfaction in its quality rather than excess. This restraint allows him to experience pleasure without compromising his principles or well-being. Craving and coveting pleasures he knows are paths to dissatisfaction and inner turmoil, much like a fire that, once out of control, can consume everything in its path. The Stoic man cultivates an attitude of non-attachment toward pleasure. He does not allow his desires to overpower his rational judgment or lead him away from his moral compass. Consider a musician who plays with passion yet remains in control of his instrument. This is how the Stoic man approaches pleasure, with wisdom and virtue guiding his actions. He ensures that his pleasures serve him rather than dominate him, allowing him to maintain a clear mind and steady focus. Stoicism also teaches the importance of valuing quality over quantity when it comes to pleasure. The Stoic man does not seek to maximize pleasure through indulgence, but through mindful appreciation. For instance, he might savor a quiet moment of reflection rather than seeking constant excitement, understanding that true satisfaction comes from depth, not excess. This perspective allows him to derive genuine joy from his experiences without falling into the trap of hedonism. In his interactions with women, the Stoic man is guided by the principle of self-regulation. He does not seek to fulfill his desires through external sources, but focuses on aligning his pleasures with his Stoic virtues. This self-regulation reflects his commitment to personal integrity and autonomy. Imagine a gardener who carefully tends to his plants, knowing that overwatering can be just as harmful as neglect. Similarly, the Stoic man nurtures his pleasures in moderation, ensuring they contribute to his well-being without overwhelming it. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, encapsulated this ethos with the insight: freedom is not procured by a full enjoyment of what is desired, but by controlling the desire. This profound statement highlights the Stoic belief that true freedom and contentment come from mastering one's desires, not from being led by them. The Stoic man embodies this wisdom, finding fulfillment not in unrestrained indulgence, but in thoughtful and disciplined enjoyment of pleasures. Ultimately, the Stoic man's approach to pleasure is characterized by a deep understanding of the balance between enjoyment and self-control. By engaging with pleasures in a measured and conscious manner, he upholds the values of temperance and rationality. This balanced approach enables him to experience life's joys without succumbing to the pitfalls of excess, allowing him to live in accordance with the noble principles of Stoicism. Through this, the Stoic man maintains his integrity, ensuring that pleasure enhances rather than detracts from his journey toward a virtuous life. Number 8. Is love in the realm of Stoicism? Love is approached with a perspective that prioritizes independence, self-sufficiency, and rationality. A Stoic man, guided by these principles, engages in love without losing himself in the process. For him, love is not about becoming overly attached or dependent on another. Instead, it is about loving with reason and clarity, maintaining his sense of self even within the depth of a romantic relationship. This approach allows him to cherish love without compromising his autonomy or principle. A Stoic man understands that love should be guided by wisdom and rational understanding. He loves deeply, but does not allow love to blind him to reality. Imagine a gardener who nurtures his plants with care but never lets them overrun his garden, tends to them with balance and intention. Similarly, the Stoic man nurtures his relationships with respect, dignity, and equality, ensuring that love remains a mutual exchange of care rather than a means of possession or control. In his relationships, the Stoic man practices moderation. He does not demand or expect love in a way that places undue pressure on the relationship. Instead, he appreciates and values the love he receives, understanding it as a gift, not a right. This perspective fosters gratitude and mindfulness, enhancing the depth and quality of his emotional connection. Picture a traveler who admires the beauty of the landscape without trying to claim it as his own. This is how the Stoic man approaches love, with appreciation rather than entitlement. Importantly, the Stoic man does not feel the need to constantly express his love through words alone. He believes that true love is shown through actions and behaviors that reflect care, understanding, and support. His love is not merely spoken. It is lived out in the way he treats his partner, much like a craftsman whose skill is evident in every detail of his work. His love is demonstrated through the small, consistent acts of kindness and respect that build a strong foundation for the relationship. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "Best way to avenge yourself is not to become like the wrongdoer." This wisdom applies to love as well. The Stoic man remains true to his principle, even in the face of challenges or negative influences. He does not allow his emotions to lead him to act in ways that are contrary to his values. In love, this means maintaining integrity, choosing actions that reflect his commitment to virtue, and not allowing passions to override his rational judgment. The Stoic man's approach to love is a balance between emotional depth and rational understanding. He loves genuinely and deeply, but always with an awareness of the importance of maintaining his independence, virtue, and rationality. This balanced approach enables him to form meaningful and fulfilling relationships while staying true to the core tenets of Stoicism. By loving in this way, he creates a life of contentment and harmony, rooted in both the heart and the mind. These are the 8 things that a man must always keep in mind when navigating love and relationships, according to Stoic philosophy. This does not mean a man should be deceptive or distant. Rather, it encourages honesty and loyalty while also practicing discretion and modesty. A Stoic man should be warm and affectionate, yet rational and independent. By embracing these principles, a man reveals his true self, not by hiding, but by embodying courage, wisdom, integrity, strength, honor, joy, moderation, and love. In doing so, he lives a life of virtue, which is, in the Stoic view, the only thing that truly matters. Number 9. Is fears? In Stoic philosophy, fear is viewed not as something to be eradicated entirely, but as a force to be understood, managed, and ultimately transcended. A Stoic man recognizes that fear, if left unchecked, can become a prison, limiting his actions and clouding his judgment. However, rather than denying or avoiding his fears, the Stoic man faces them head-on, much like a warrior who stands firm on the battlefield, knowing that courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. For a Stoic man, acknowledging fear is the first step toward overcoming it. He understands that fear often stems from uncertainty and the unknown, which can be dispelled through knowledge, preparation, and a calm, rational mind. Imagine a sailor navigating uncharted waters. By studying the stars and understanding the tides, he reduces his fear of the unknown and steers his ship with confidence. Similarly, the Stoic man prepares himself for life's challenges by equipping his mind with wisdom and reason, thereby reducing the power that fear holds over him. In relationships, especially with a woman, the Stoic man does not allow his fears to dictate his actions or decisions. He practices self-control, ensuring that his fears do not lead to irrational behavior or emotional instability. Instead, he uses his fears as opportunities for growth, learning to navigate them with patience and resilience. For example, rather than fearing the loss of a relationship, he focuses on cultivating a deep, meaningful connection that is based on mutual respect and understanding. This approach allows him to remain grounded and composed, even in the face of uncertainty. The Stoic man also understands that some fears are universal and unavoidable, such as the fear of death or loss. However, he does not let these fears dominate his thoughts or action. By accepting that these are natural parts of life, he is able to live more fully in the present moment, free from the anxieties that often accompany such fears. Marcus Aurelius captured this sentiment well when he said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." The Stoic man embodies this wisdom, choosing to live each day with purpose and courage, unburdened by the fears that might otherwise hold him back. Ultimately, the Stoic man's approach to fear is one of acceptance and transformation. He does not seek to eliminate fear entirely, but to understand it, manage it, and use it as a tool for personal growth. By facing his fears with courage and reason, he becomes stronger and more resilient, navigating life's uncertainties with grace and determination. This approach not only strengthens his character, but also allows him to live a life of true freedom, free from the chains of fear that so often bind others. Number 10. His desires. In the philosophy of Stoicism, desires are seen as powerful forces that, if left unchecked, can lead a man away from his path of virtue and wisdom. A Stoic man understands that while desires are natural, they must be carefully managed to prevent them from becoming distractions or obsessions. His approach to desires is one of mindful moderation, where he seeks to align his wants with his values and principles, rather than allowing them to dictate his action. The Stoic man recognizes that unchecked desires can lead to a life of endless pursuit, where contentment is always just out of reach. To avoid this, he practices the art of desire management, focusing on what is truly necessary and valuable. Imagine a craftsman who selects only the finest materials for his work, rejecting the unnecessary in favor of what will best serve his creation. In the same way, the Stoic man refines his desires, choosing only those that align with his pursuit of a virtuous life. In his relationships, the Stoic man is particularly mindful of how his desires might affect others, especially a romantic partner. He understands that placing too much emphasis on fulfilling his own desires can lead to imbalance and dissatisfaction. Therefore, he practices self-restraint, ensuring that his desires do not overshadow the needs and well-being of those he cares about. For example, rather than constantly seeking to fulfill his own desires in a relationship, he focuses on creating a partnership based on mutual respect and shared values. This approach fosters harmony and deepens the connection between partners. The Stoic man also distinguishes between desires that are within his control and those that are not. He knows that desiring things beyond his control, such as the approval of others or material wealth, can lead to frustration and disappointment. By focusing on what he can control, such as his actions, thoughts, and attitudes, he is able to cultivate a sense of peace and satisfaction. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized this when he said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." The Stoic man lives by this principle, directing his desires toward what is within his grasp and letting go of the rest. In essence, the Stoic man's approach to desire is one of disciplined moderation. He does not deny his desires, but he carefully evaluates them, ensuring they align with his higher goals and values. By doing so, he is able to experience true contentment and fulfillment, free from the endless cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. This approach allows him to live a life of balance and purpose, guided by reason and virtue rather than by the whims of fleeting desires. Through this, the Stoic man embodies the true spirit of Stoicism, living a life of integrity, wisdom, and inner peace. As we reflect on these 10 principles of Stoicism, clear that the Stoic man navigates life with a sense of purpose, balance, and unwavering commitment to his values. Whether it's managing his fears, desires, or the way he approaches love, the Stoic man embodies strength through wisdom, self-discipline, and thoughtful action. These principles aren't just philosophical concepts. They are practical guides that help us live with integrity and find fulfillment in even the smallest aspects of our lives. By embracing these teachings, we can cultivate inner peace and resilience, no matter what challenges come our way. If you found these insights valuable, I encourage you to explore more by watching my playlist, Stoicism for a Fulfilling Life. Dive deeper into how Stoicism can transform your daily existence. Don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Stoic Quotes 365 to stay connected with more content on Stoic wisdom. Your journey toward a fulfilling life is just beginning. Let's walk it together.